Hey everyone, what if I told you that the thing that everyone is complaining about right now, Mythic Plus being too easy, is secretly one of the best things that's happened to World of Warcraft in years? I'm seeing the same comments and videos everywhere. Carries ruin the game, Mythic Plus too easy, completion rate is too high on Mythic dungeons, but after years of grinding previous seasons, where I barely scraped together a few portals and mounts, I'm here to tell you the truth. Easier Mythic Plus is actually healthier for the game, the community, and your sanity. My name is Saucy and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're doing a deep dive into why lowering the barrier for Mythic Plus might be Blizzard's smartest move this expansion. Stick around because I'm going to break down the old system, the new reality, the hidden benefits, and why you should stop doom posting and start queuing. And if you've never done Mythic Plus, it's time to get off the sidelines and join. For those new here, I mostly make guides, profession guides, I've done class guides, guides on expansion features like horrific visions, leveling, things of that nature. I'm not a world first guy, as much as I'd love to believe that I could be. The truth is, up to Cataclysm, I haven't done any raiding, or any high-end stuff since. In previous seasons, I got a few ahead of the curve achievements. Starting in BFA, I got my first Mythic Plus one, and honestly haven't done too much since. I did my weeklies in Dragonflight and the War Within, but honestly haven't even considered pushing past the minimum since it was already so hard to get to that point to begin with. I celebrated when I timed my first 15 key, pre-nerf. But then, when I got ported back to Orgrimmar, I would scroll trade chat and saw groups selling the exact same reward I grinded weeks for and it hit me. 4 really good players can replicate what I spent dozens of frustrating hours doing. It used to make me mad, but honestly, now I'm realizing it makes me feel like the system is actually working better. Let's talk about how Mythic Plus used to feel. Early in the season, if you didn't do any heroic raids to get you ahead of the curve, you weren't getting an invite to any pugs that were going to kill any bosses. So Mythic Plus was really your only chance of getting gear. However, you were gated kinda hard by the gear, and keystones felt brutal. Getting your weekly 10 for a single vault slot was a genuine struggle for a large majority of players. You'd spend hours in looking for group, trying to find a group that would take your under-geared alt or your off-meta spec main. One bad pull, missed interrupt, or mechanic you simply made a mistake on, and the key was bricked. Tilt would set in, people would start flaming, and you log off frustrated. In your head, you're just like next season, I guess. Mind you, all because of a mistake you made in a key that you likely haven't seen in over a week. So it's nearly impossible to be practiced in it. Many players, aside from carries, never even saw the inside of a plus 10, let alone timed one. The seasonal portals felt like a distant myth, reserved for the top 10% of players. Because although a 20 key didn't seem so high when other players were pushing 27 and 28 keys, the player pool of average players that could actually complete one were very tiny. The result? Long queue times, toxic environments, and huge swaths of the community feeling locked out of one of WoW's best gameplay loops. Fast forward to now, you can time 10 keys on a relatively undergeared ult. The first week this all came out, we were all barely 240, 250 item levels, and we were all timing 10s that Tuesday. You could run every dungeon in a week if you wanted, or even more. Groups feel faster because more people are actually timing keys at those levels, which is not only helping them get gear, but preventing the tilt or discouragement from not being able to get those achievements done. The weekly vault feels achievable instead of next to impossible. I personally was able to level a monk just last week, and in 1 week was able to get about 15 to 20 keys done. Because of the bonus roll system and the alt crest system, I was able to get to 275 in just 2 days. As of today, he's 285 with a ton of extra crests. So I'm able to start pushing for my ultimate goal, which is getting the 0.1% title. My main only got to about 3200, but the goal is there. And because it's easier to get to this point, I'm able to learn more dungeons and strategies instead of spending my time in the group finder. And yes, carries exist. And yes, the absolute highest keys still separate the elite from everyone else. And that skill ceiling is still very real. But the floor has been raised. More players are experiencing the fun parts of Mythic Plus, with tight coordination, big pulls, massive damage numbers which everybody loves, and that satisfying timer beat. And here's what a lot of the complainers miss. This is an intentional design. Blizzard has been tweaking Mythic Plus for years to make it more accessible without removing the challenge from the top, as well as pushing the ceiling higher as players get more creative in their dungeons solutions, whether they're pulling trash into a boss or however they're doing their skips. Blizzard has learned from past seasons where participation dropped off a cliff once the real players moved on. Now, let me break down the benefits. Number one, there's a bigger, healthier player pool. The more people who can comfortably time 8s and 10s and onward, the more people that will stay subscribed and engaged. The more consumables that will be used, the more people wanting crafts, the more people talking in trade chat. Engaged players log in, run dungeons, do world content, buy cosmetics, and keep servers alive.
Landing now.
A tiny, elite player base can't sustain the game long term. It's going to help reduce burnout and toxicity. When keys are so punishing early on, people burn out fast. They get angry at the random pugs instead of enjoying the content. Easier entry means more chill runs, more learning, fewer rage quits. You can still get the sweaty high keys if you want them. You're just not forced into that mindset just because you want some basic rewards as myth crests or a great vault that's actually full. Another benefit is that it's really alt friendly and there is spec diversity. You want to level and gear a new character? You can actually jump into Mythic Plus sooner and contribute. That's not to say you should bring your rat alt with 220 blues into a 10 key. That's just disrespectful. But being able to get your weekly to give you gear, you can craft with all 10 of your sparks, do a couple bountiful delves to get some gear, can help you get to 250 in a day. And from there, you can go right into a 10 key. It's not ideal by any means, but because of the lower barrier, you can actually go in there and do something meaningful. This also means more players are experimenting with off-meta specs and classes instead of funneling everything into one meta character just to play. The game feels wider, friendlier, and more fun, in my opinion. And yes, carries still exist, but they also let players who don't have the time or the skills for higher keys still get the mounts and portals and achievements. With that, some players will stop there, but others may find that they actually enjoy the runs and add to the player pool. Again, the community grows instead of shrinking into cliques. And nobody is saying that the 15s or 20 keys are free. The very top end still requires god tier play, coordination, and gear. The difference is now we have a smoother ladder instead of just a wall. You can climb from being casual and serious without hitting a brick wall. It's more of a smooth incline. Think about someone coming back from Shadowlands or Dragonflight. They don't want to spend 3 weeks grinding just to feel useful in a group in any way. Easier Mythic Plus lets them jump in and have fun, so they can get hooked again. And I know what some of you may be thinking. Saucy, inflation devalues the achievement. And sure, a 10 portal isn't as rare as it used to be, but that's okay. The real prestige has always moved up. From 15s to 18s to 20s, and currently I believe in the 22s.
I know.
The reward curve
Well,
just
I did
shifted
die
down
right when one
so
of
that
them
more
went
people
cast,
can
so
enjoy the middle instead of staring at it from below. Mythic Plus being easier doesn't mean that the game is dying. It just means more people get to experience one of WoW's greatest inventions. It means healthier queues, happier communities, and a longer lifespan for the season. The skill ceiling is still sky high for those who want it again. But the floor isn't on the dirt anymore. If you've been frustrated with Mythic Plus in the past, Give this season an honest chance. Queue into the looking for group system that you've been scared of, and you might actually have some fun. If you're a higher end player who's been doing it forever, do me a favor. Tell the guy he needs to interrupt, or to not stand in the fire. If they mess up a mechanic, just take a second and explain it to them real quick. Keep that momentum going, and one day your next guildmate may be one of those people. Drop a like if you agree that accessibility improvements can coexist with high-end challenge. Let me know in the comments. What key levels are you pushing this season? And how does it feel compared to the last few seasons you've done? If you guys want more WoW guides, Mythic Plus tips, and potentially quick dungeon tutorials, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications, as I've got more coming. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.